Hey, I'm back, and I wore a tie just for the occasion. Who am I? I'm Jason Inman, and I like to read comic books. That's why in the week of May 7th, I decided to read all the DC New 52 comic books that were published in the world. I'm going to give each of these a buy it, borrow it from a friend, or a skip it rating. But before I get to that, don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. Now enough of this jibba jabba, let's get on to some DC comic book reviews. Aquaman and the Others #2. This book should be called Aquaman and the Book Where He Poses a Lot. Check it out. Dun 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 boom 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 boom. The art's decent, but nothing about this storyline is really gonna knock your socks off, so this is a definite skip it. Batman Eternal #5. This is the best Batman Eternal cover I have seen today. Look at this thing. Andy Kubert on a Batman book. I am there. I will buy it. You can have him draw Batman reading the phone book, and I will buy it. Now, this issue is kind of, I feel, where Batman Eternal kicks into gear. If you've seen some of my previous commentary videos on Batman Eternal, you know I've not really been digging it. I've kind of been very apathetic, very meh about it. But this book really introduces a new section, and this issue should have been issue #2 of the entire season. If this had been issue #2 of Batman Eternal, I'm in like Flynn for the entire year. Take my money, make it rain, DC. That's what I would say to you. So Tim Drake finds out that the kids that were poisoned by Professor Pig all the way back in episode 1, issue 1, I mean all the way back, it was literally 4 weeks ago, they are developing some sort of virus and they're sick, and he finds other kids that are sick, with similar symptoms that weren't at the pig incident. So he does a little hackety and he finds out that they have like a little bit of a nanotech thing inside him, and the nanotech starts attacking Tim. This sets up an interesting subplot. Where did Pig get these nanotech? Who has these nanotech people? And then there's this guy on the last page that says he trained Bruce Wayne and he knows all about it. I'm it. You got me with this mystery. Why wasn't this issue 2? Issue 2 instead was a reveal of Carmine Falcone, a villain that really hasn't been important since Batman Year 1 or Batman The Long Halloween. And that's supposed to be the big deal, that Carmine Falcone is around. Whoopity-doo-dah. This, I'm there. And also it makes me question, is this tied into Future's End? Is it not? Why are these nanotech people here? Could this be Brother Eye? There's so many things. You see how engaged I am in the title? Even though that I would have been with Batman Eternal every single week. I would have told you, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. But now, I say for Batman Eternal, it's always a borrow it from a friend every single week. Batman Superman #10. This issue is a little bit different. Not written by Greg Pak, the normal writer of the series. It's written by Jeff Lemire of Justice League United and Green Arrow, an excellent series, which if not reading, you totally should be. And it feels like a very non-New 52 issue. Like it seems like an issue that would have happened before the New 52. Basically, Batman has something inside of his brain and it looks like a dead superhero, which is kind of weird and kind of creepy and could lead to a lot of plague if you know anything about necrophilia. Anyways, Ray Palmer from Shade dresses up for the first time, and it gets in this kind of like kick-ass proto-Atom costume, and he becomes the Atom for the very first time. And they go in there and they save the day, and it has like one of the best Batman lines that I've read a long time ago, where Batman's like, "This is why I should never leave Gotham. Oh, I need an aspirin." Fun, simple issue. This is exactly what this book should be. And you know what? I welcome Jeff Lemire back on this book anytime. This is a definite buy it. Batwing #31. Batwing fights a Bane wannabe in an underground city. Let me save you the time and money. Skip it. Detective Comics #31. What a great book. Has great art by Manapul and Bucoletto. I'm not certain how to pronounce that. Great art. They've always had strong art, but you know what that makes this? They have a great story. So Harvey Bullock is looking into this drug Icarus that's all around Gotham, and they found it at Wayne Manor. And Harvey hasn't seen this drug since the, almost 0 year-ish time. It's not quite clear. And they investigate a murder. And it's great because it's called Detective Comics, and Batman is actually a detective in the book. Shocking, I know. Whoa! And I always like Batman storylines where he goes undercover. It's really kind of cool. I love the matches Malone. This time he puts on like, a little cap, and he goes and tries to buy some Icarus, and he gets a 12-gauge shotgun right in the chest, which is, sometimes what you will get, kids, if you try to go buy drugs. So learn your lesson early. Don't be like Batman. This is just a great Batman story. Great art, great story, and a mystery that actually has enough hooks, enough character and subplots that interest me. This is a great book. This is the best Batman book of the week. Buy this book. Earth 2 #23. Wow. This book hit all cylinders this week. Not only do we get the return of Alan Scott Green Lantern from this, and the best bad. God, I love that costume. Nicholas Scott does an amazing job of drawing the Alan Scott costume. And by the way, in the comments, if you want to send me a birthday gift, you can send me a action figure of Alan Scott Green Lantern Earth 2, available in stores this July. Not a plug by DC. And it's just a great looking costume. But you know what makes this book, when there's dire Superman's tearing apart the world, you know, and what makes this book great is the great little character moments, like evil Superman wanting to take Red Tornado Lois to his folks in Smallville. Lois and Jimmy, Jimmy's tracking Lois the entire time because he's like a computer hacker in this world. The new Kryptonian decides that he won't ever kill. These little moments are what make this book pack, and what makes this book, you know, like have an impact, because these small moments contrasted against the giant Superman's gonna literally break the world in half makes the book great. This is a definite buy it. Green Arrow number 31, and thus ends the Outsiders War. You get some great moments. You get Komodo as the head of the Sword Clan with the Soul Taker. And then you get Ollie being offered to take the head of the Arrow Clan and have the actual Green Arrow. I'm not a big fan of that part, but he does a very classic Ollie move. But also, there's an very interesting, although I can't talk today, there's a very interesting thing that I noticed in this book. One is that it seems like Jeff Lemire is writing this Oliver Queen more like the TV show Oliver Queen than the old classic like Mike Grell, Judd Winnick, Oliver Queen. You know, the kind of cantankerous, like, you better eat my chili, Oliver Queen. More like the stubborn, kind of pig-headed Arrow CW Oliver Queen. But there's nothing wrong with that. I understand that you have to reach to a new audience, so that's fine. But it's still a great book with great art by Andrea Sorrentino. I'm very interested to see what this book does when Green Arrow goes back to Seattle and kind of meets up with Diggle, because we see some Diggle stuff, and he's finally going to meet Diggle again, and they're going to get some basic crime fighting, finding a crime lord, Count Vertigo stuff. That should be interesting. I'm really looking forward to that. This is one of DC's best books. This is a definite buy it. Green Lantern number 31. So the Durlans attack the Green Lantern Corps because nobody trusts the Green Lanterns anymore. And the Green Lanterns almost get taken out because there are fake people as Green Lanterns that are attacking them. But wait a minute, a Green Lantern ring can only go to a person that's chosen. So how do they have a Green Lantern ring? And how are they attacking? And how can they use a Green Lantern? And the whole issue just falls apart, and that's why you skip it. Justice League 3000 number 6. Thank God Howard Porter, my favorite JLA artist of all time from back in the Grant Morrison days, gets a chance to knock people's socks off with amazing panels and some amazing artwork. The rest of the issue is pretty plotty and very much not original. So if you like Howard Porter's art, this is a definite buy it. If you don't, this is a skip it. Swamp Thing number 31. Charles Soule keeps adding layers upon layers of Swamp Thing, as this issue we meet another avatar of another group that we didn't even know existed, called the Gray. And of course the Gray is fungus. So he goes into the avatar of the Gray, becomes fungus, and he tries to save his body, because if you've been reading previous issues of Swamp Thing hopped out of his body and hopped into a human, and he uses the Gray to get back his body. It gets back into his body, and you learn who actually tricked him to get out of his body, and it's all wheels within wheels. The friend that he thought was a friend, but now is an enemy. And it's very interesting. If you like intrigue, and you like kind of horror, and you like weird stuff about people walking around as fungus, then you're going to love this book. Swamp Thing is a definite buy it. Teen Titans Annual number 3. Scott Lobdell gets to put a nice little capper on his run of Teen Titans. We get to learn why the Teen Titans were formed in the New 52. We get to learn all about Harvest, and we get to see, like, I like little books when they do like nice little future ahead, you know, show where the characters ended up. And we get to see where every character has ended up, including Superboy. And even Red Robin, even though it hints here heavily that Red Robin goes back and becomes a partner to Batman, a permanent partner, even though in Batman Eternal it doesn't, you know, congeal. So we just have to let that go. But still, say what you will about Scott Lobdell's Teen Titans. Like him, hate him, whatever. This issue is a nice little capper. It's a nice little, like, yay, we won the day, and it kind of makes your heart swell a little bit. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Teen Titans, so that's why I can't fully recommend this book. I just never have been. But, you know, if you've been reading this run or you care about Teen Titans, this is a great issue for you. For everybody else, it's a borrow it from a friend. The Movement number 12. Isn't this canceled yet? Skip it. The New 52 Futures End number 1. And DC's second weekly series starts off with a lot of murder, murder, almost rape, gunshot wound, murder, murder, burning. And, you know, that's the way things go in the New 52. But this is a super violent book. I don't know if you read the Free Comic Book Day issue number 0, but like half the DC universe was killed and turned into half robots. And in this issue, So all of Stormwatch dies. Future Green Arrow dies, not current Green Arrow. 5 years later, Green Arrow dies. And then Grifter shoots families, like, in little girls. And even though they're Damonites, it's still pretty graphic. He's walking up the stairs, it's going pow, pow, pow. This could be a great idea. This could have been a very nice, cool look ahead. There's some rumors out there that the DC Universe is going to reboot into the 5 years later timeline. That, like, so that next year when this is over, the rest of the DC Universe is going to catch up and go 5 years later. I hope they don't do that. I think it's going to make the DC Universe even more complicated than what it already is. But there are some great ideas here. There's some great characters here like Grifter. This could be a great book. It's not quite there, and I don't know if it ever will be, but for me, this is a skip it. Trinity of Sin, Phantom Stranger number 19. Zoriel is sick in bed, and that's the most interesting thing that happens in this book, besides the fact that this book made it to 19 issues. Skip it. And now it's time for my pick of the week. That's when you only have enough money to buy one comic book. What comic book should you buy? And that comic book this week is Detective Comics number 31. This, as I said, is the best Batman book out there right now. Great art, great story. If you just want to see Batman as a detective, which sometimes in the movies they don't do enough of, you can see Batman as a detective. It's a great time. Let's just go ahead and do it. And that's all for this week of the New 52 comic books. As always, go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. They did a podcast called Doing Review, and they also did a half an hour talking about Futures in the New 52. If you want to see it, it's great. You should listen to it. It's good times. I also have a podcast called Geek History Lesson. You can find it on iTunes, you can find it on Stitcher, and you can also find it on Facebook and links below. We just spent 2 weeks talking about Spider-Man. We take one character from pop culture, we dissect it, we tell you facts, we tell you Easter eggs, we let you learn about pop culture things, and you know what? It's a fun time. We got Kitty Pryde coming up, and we got Professor X coming up. It is a great, great time. Always leave me a comment below. Tell me what you're reading. Tell me what you thought I did stupid. Tell me whether you like my tie or not. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. I had a busy WonderCon time making videos at WonderCon. That's the reason why I haven't seen me, but I am good and steady to go for the next month or so. So thank you all for watching. I internet love every single one of you. I'm Jason Inman. Be seeing you. Hey everybody, it's our time after the credits. I haven't done this in a while. Now, some of you have been asking in the comments, you're like, hey, you haven't posted a video in like 3 weeks. Well, WonderCon was a crazy, mad, fun time. And I made a lot of videos. I put out like 7 or 8 videos, as you see, and you know, those kicked my butt. They really, really kicked my butt. So there you go. You know, that's why I got that stuff happening. Reading some comic books, just doing some things, still doing the major spoilers thing. I just did a review of Cyclops number 1. You should go on over there and go read it if you want to read some Marvel reviews of mine or whatever. I got stuff coming up. I got some more projects coming up. I got some more Geek and Teas with Amy Dolan. I got a Geek and Tea with Jovenshire of Smosh coming up. And I have some more Geek and Teas with the Two Broke Geeks and Sterling Gates still coming up that you'll see eventually. I'll get around to it. You know, I want to ask you all to do me a favor. I got some important things coming up in my life soon, and one thing that could really help me is if all of you that are watching this point, if you could just share one of my videos, a favorite video or whatever, to a friend of yours. Just share it. Just, you know, please just show it to a friend. It could be anything. It could be my Batman videos. It could be the Walking Dead Christmas special. It could be my History of Doctor Who video. Because I do other videos besides these comic book review videos. If you haven't checked out my channel, how dare you? But that'll be really helpful, you know, because I would love to get my subscribers up, to get my views up, to be able to do this on more of a full-time, you know, job, position, whatever, you know? Just like everybody. That's a dream, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, hey, if you're going to be in the Los Angeles area or any of the comic book conventions or any of the big comic book events, tweet me on Twitter and come say hi. I only met one person at WonderCon, and he took a picture with me, and he didn't share it. He didn't share it online. I have no idea who he is. But he said that these videos helped him read comic books, and he got into comic books because of these videos, and I think that is amazing. That is fantastic. That is so great. So if you've been watching this far, I want you to hashtag so great, because that's just fun times. I'm here for you, you're here for me. We are comics. Huh? You know, if you saw any of that Amy Dallin video, we are comics. We're all comics together. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you like, doesn't matter what you hate, doesn't matter anything like that. You like comic books, I like comic books, we both like comic books, and that makes us friends. So we're all comic books. So, you know, share some of my videos, help a more comic book loving friend out in the world. You know, that's it. Peace, love. Arrow is fantastic. You haven't been watching that show? Shame on you. Arrow is fantastic. Thwack, thwack. Goodbye, kids.